everybody, welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and today we're here for another book to film comparison video. Now this one is going to be on the slightly obscure side because to be honest with you, I'm not even sure when the movie came out. Ivan and I just recently discovered it and we watched it and we fell in love with it, and lo and behold, it was actually, oh, where's my book? Based on a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. The movie is Stonehearst Asylum, and the short story is The System of Dr. Tarr and Professor Fether. I mean, clever. Very clever, Mr. Poe. Thank you for that. Anyway, so basically we discovered the movie, watched it, really enjoyed it, and I said, hey, if it's based on an Edgar Allan Poe short story, maybe I should go read it. I have this lovely Barnes & Noble edition of the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. So I was like, oh, complete tales, then maybe it's in this book and I should go and read it. And lo and behold, it was. And it was so easy to read that I sat and I read it in all of half an hour, if that, because sometimes the language gets a little lofty and I had a bit of a hard time because even though I know it seems that my vocabulary is quite extensive, sometimes I just have no idea what the hell people are talking about. So probably less than half an hour, but I don't know. And that was a weird characterization and I'm so sorry. No, I haven't been drinking. Whoo! Okay, anyway, so I decided to sit down and read the short story. It's literally all of 2 pages. It's not long. It's not difficult. 2 pages. That wouldn't have even taken me half an hour, so I don't know who that person was, but don't listen to her. She's weird. Anyway, so there are going to be some spoilers for those who have neither read the story nor watched the movie, so be prepared for that. Maybe go do one or the other and then come back and watch it if you have not seen or read either one. Just fair warning. Basically, the short story is about a young man who is traveling. He decides to visit this asylum. He goes in to visit and ends up having an incredibly strange dinner with a lot of really, really strange people, being told by the head of the institution that their different set of practices, which is basically soothing practices, pretty much just letting the insane be insane. What's the point of curing them? Just let them be happy in their insanity if they're not hurting anybody. There you go. But then explain how it actually didn't work. And oh my gosh, one time the lunatics took over the asylum and we're pretty sure it's all as a result of this tolerant set of practices. And that's ridiculous. Then all of a sudden, boom, everything explodes. Soldiers and townspeople just all flood into the asylum. Come to find out, this head of the institution was actually one of the insane, and he was telling the story of the month-long siege that the insane had inflicted upon this asylum. And yeah, pretty fascinating. I have to admit, my brain that's all about asylums and medical, mental hospitals and psych wards, I was sitting there going, that's awesome, dude. That's amazing. I would go to that asylum. So it was a nice short story. It was simple. It was easy. You get the bare bones of a story with a little bit of characterization thrown in and a little twist at the end. And it's actually described as a dark comedy by Poe. And I have to admit that, yes, it's definitely on the dark side of things. I mean, you look at it and you get all the little tiny details and you're just like, wow, okay, all right, okay, dark, slightly macabre. Okay, we'll take it. Why not? But it's got a pretty funny twist, and Poe shows incredible good humor about the entire story. So I was like, okay, fantastic. So then I decided to go back and re-watch the movie. And now that I had actually read the short story, seen what it was based on, I was like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to rewatch the movie with a more educated perspective. And I have to say, it actually held up incredibly well once you've read the short story. The thing that actually makes it work is the fact that Dr. Tarr and Professor Fether is a short story. Had Poe turned this into a huge novel, with characters, full plot, subplots, setting details, all of this stuff, and then the filmmakers had turned it into a movie and done what they did with the movie, I probably wouldn't have liked it, because you guys know that the second filmmakers decide to start fixing plots, I'm like, nope, that's ridiculous. You're done. But what these filmmakers did was they took the bare bones of the story that Poe gave to us. Because like I said, it's a short story. It's simple. It's, again, very, very minimalist, bare bones of a plot with some characterizations, but that's it. They took it and they embellished it and expanded it. And that's why it worked. They actually had, okay, fine. They changed a couple of little teeny tiny details that were so minute. It honestly doesn't really matter much. And oh my gosh, the head of the institution who takes over, oh, they changed his name. I'm so sorry. Okay. I know for some people that would ruin it. And for me, it used to ruin it, but I'm maturing in my perspective. Anyway, they took a lot of the same characters that were described in the short story. Like I said, there were a few details that Poe threw out. For instance, Kate Beckinsale is actually in this movie, and her character is just briefly mentioned in the short story as a classy, poised woman with the facade of sanity. And that's all we really know about her, but the filmmakers actually took that little bit of information and they expanded it, and she turns into one of the major players in the movie. And they give her her own little subplot and a new twist, because not only do you have Poe's twist, but then they ended up adding another twist, which, to be honest, it meshes incredibly well with Poe's original story. So I was like, you know what? I can't hate on that. I really can't. It was fantastic. And the actors, because they have Ben Kingsley, Kate Beckinsale, Michael Caine, and then the guy, I'm not sure if I actually even remember his name. He plays Professor Lupin in the Harry Potter movies, because you know who I'm talking about, and we all know who he is. I just never remember his name. So, sir, I apologize to you for not remembering your name. I love you. I just don't remember your name. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, so the characters, the actors are all really great. You do actually get more characterization. You get a deeper, richer setting. And so that's what I really did like about it, was they took, a minimalist, simple short story and they expanded it into this full-fledged story, and it worked really well. And another very slight difference, it's very, very subtle, but again, it actually helps with the movie and why it works so well, and that is the short story. The short story is just that. It is literally a story being told. And whereas the movie, you're not being told anything, you're watching everything play out. And that's what works about it. It's a very, very subtle difference. It's a very fine line between the two. But obviously, you're not going to get as many details from a storyteller as you're going to get while you're watching the events take place. And again, that's what actually helps the movie succeed. And okay, like I said, there are a couple of plot points, spoiler alert, it's the soldiers and the townspeople, in the book that come in and, end up breaking up the lunatics and taking over. Whereas in the movie, it's actually the narrator himself who ends up overthrowing, the crazy head guy who takes over the asylum. There are a couple of little plot changes, but again, the spirit stays the same. And I realize that there are people who are going to be sticklers for things like that. I'm trying not to be that person. I'm trying to look at them as two completely different different things. But the fact that they actually kept with Poe's spirit of the story, it works, and it works well. And, the standard that we have developed at Jessica's Reading Room for our approval of the movies, the adaptation to film is, if you're not going to read the book, can you watch the movie and still get it? Obviously, we acknowledge that you'll never, ever, ever, ever get a movie that is, you're going to be 100% satisfied with. It's not going to work. However, I will admit that Stonehearst Asylum is actually the closest that you're going to get with that. Simply because it's based on a short story versus a novel, the movie actually gave us so much more information that I have to say that when it comes, because you guys know me, I love information, I love learning things, I love getting background, so I'm gonna choose whichever medium is gonna give me more of that, and in this case, the movie actually gave me more. So, and again, can you watch the movie without reading the story, without reading the book, and still get the overall experience? In this case, yes, you will. In fact, you'll probably get a deeper experience watching the movie than you will reading the book, simply because it is based on a short story. You should still absolutely read the short story. It will not take you long to get through the short story. It's barely 2 pages long. So, you could watch the movie and then go and read the short story, and, you'll be done in less than 2 hours, doing both of them at once, one right after another. Again, you'll be done in 2 hours and that's it. So yes, if that is the standard that has been set, yes, you can watch the movie and still get the story without actually reading the short story. So yes, at Jessica's Reading Room, we approve of Stonehearst Asylum. Well done, filmmakers. I wish I could give you more information about who made the movie, but again, I came into this rather unprepared, and I'm still trying to figure out what our system is going to be for this, so I'm so very sorry. All you gotta do is look up Stonehearst Asylum and you'll find it. Like I said, it's got Ben Kingsley, Kate Beckinsale, Michael Caine, Professor Lupin. Someone tell me what his name is, please. I feel so bad that I don't know his name because I really do love him. Yeah, okay. So, please tell us your opinions if you have read the short story, if you have watched the movie. Let us know what you think. Let us know which you like better. I would love to find out. If you have other suggestions for book to film comparisons that you would like to see, make sure you tell us down in the comments. And if you have recommendations for stories or movies that are centered around insane asylums, psych wards, mental hospitals, make sure you tell us, because I'm going to be all over that, because that's just how I am. I can't apologize because it's just who I am. It's just sorry, not sorry. Oh gosh, I hate it when people say that, and here I am saying it. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let us know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody have an awesome day. Bye.